Only Sunderland could lose their only striker in a game and then go on to score 3 goals later on in the same match. Football is weird. First and foremost, I'm not particularly a royalist myself. I don't particularly have that much attachment to the royal family, but it was great to see the tributes that were given, obviously not just in this game, but across all the other games, for Queen Elizabeth II, rest in peace. And yeah, great to see a tribute, to have the minute silence. I had a minute or 2 minutes, whichever it was. And then obviously the national anthem. Hearing God Save Our King is definitely going to get some getting used to. But anyway, rest in peace, Queen Elizabeth. But regardless, if I move on to the game, look, let's get the negative out of the way. The striker thing is a concern, and that's one area I will think Speakman does deserve criticism, even though I think he's done a lot better than what I think some fans want to give him credit for, with regards to transfers specifically anyway. We could have done with signing another forward, but I do get the impression with Simms being out, depending on how long that injury concern is, that we should be going into the free agent market here and getting another forward in. I'm hoping best case scenario, depending on what the injury is, that maybe Simms might be back after the international break, but that might be wishful thinking on my part. I don't know the extent of the injury yet. We'll have to wait and see with that one. So yes, that's criticism's fair at him, labelling to get as another striker. But again, when you look at it, Benetti looked quite lively when he came on, Diallo looked quite lively when he came on, and obviously it was the ideal situation for them to come on to. So recruitment's not been a shambles, has it? Let's remember that. Regardless, but again, striker thing is valid criticism, I'll give you that. Regardless, as the game's concerned, until the first goal, really, I thought the game was a bit of a nothingness. I didn't really think there was much in it as much. I thought we were the better team in that. I thought we were controlling things. I think we were the better team without being scintillating, if that makes sense. I think we controlled the game well enough. We were stringing nice passes together. We were keeping hold of the ball. But as I said, I thought we played all right at Middlesbrough. I didn't think we were as bad as everyone else did. But again, the thing is, in the second half, some parts of that game against Borough, we had a lot of the possession, but we didn't do anything with it, which means that having the possession is almost meaningless. Thankfully, this time, once we got the first goal, we made our possession count, and we actually made it count for something and got some good chances. Obviously, I've already touched on the Simms thing, but after he scored, I think Roberts the Magician. That's the title of the video. Roberts the Magician. I'm just going to milk it. I've said all along, I want Roberts to play more games. I like the look of what I'm seeing. And tonight, granted, Reading I thought were atrocious. But I think that's... And yes, okay, you can argue he's playing against Reading. But I still believe Roberts is a quality championship player. At least a good enough player to be competitive in the championship and have us competitive. His 2 goals, well taken. Poor defending from Reading's perspective, but good footwork from Roberts. And then in the second half... I thought at first that Roberts' first goal I thought was the pick of the bunch. When I looked at the third goal back, someone put it on Twitter, a little video when they were watching Sky Sports, the coverage of the game. For me, the third goal is the pick of the bunch. The way that we got from defence to attack in probably about half a dozen passes, and we ended up scoring, was really, really well worked. Obviously, at that point, Reading were having to push forward to commit to try and get a result from the game. But regardless, I thought that we did really, really well to just keep the ball at our pace, and we played it with confidence, and I really, really like that. And it's funny because I saw quite a lot of people, surprisingly, being very negative and pessimistic about the result tonight, which is their opinion. Granted, I'm not trying to attack them, but for me, I thought, no, I think I watched Reading against Stoke, and as much as I had a smirk on my face with Alex Neil losing the game, he'll still have Stoke competitive. Don't worry, unfortunately. But nevertheless, that's how the manager he is. But my point was, but nevertheless, Stoke should have got a result at Reading because I didn't think Reading looked all that convincing. That was the first time I'd watched them in full, and I think they were a bit lucky to win that game. And then this time, I thought if we get at these, I think we beat them. I'm not saying that Reading will definitely go down or anything. Hopefully they don't, because for their own sake, you want to make sure that they are getting their act together, basically. But I thought we fully deserved the win. I think the scoreline was fair. I think you could tell subconsciously Reading looked like they'd given up after half-time. I know Reading will play better than that. Reading have obviously had a good start to the season, very good considering the circumstances. But for me, I thought we fully deserved the win. I think that was one of our better performances. It goes back to what I'm saying, though. People said the Borough performance was awful, and I disagreed with that. I think it looks awful in comparison to other games. Anyway, so as far as I'm concerned, Watford for me on Saturday, I've said all along, I think that's a free hit. I do actually think we'll get beat at Watford. That is a free hit for me. They've got a better squad than Reading, and I think that they will that'll be a much sterner test than what tonight ended up being. I did think we'd win tonight, granted not by that score. I did think Reading would make a bigger game of it, but and that's not me trying to have a dig, that's just how I saw it. Watford will be tough. But for me, that game is more or less a free hit. If we get anything out of that, great. As long as we don't get embarrassed and we're putting a good performance, then see where that takes you from there. I think this game was the more winnable, if you like to call it, of the two of them. But anyway, very good performance, good result. 2 wins out of 3 for Tony Mowbray. Obviously, it's a long season, but we need to make sure we get to between 50 to 60 points ASAP, and we're on 14. We'll wait and see where we are in a few months' time. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe if you wish to. According to the analytics, nearly 60% of people that watch aren't subscribed. I'm trying to get to 5,000 now, and thanks very much for helping me get to 4,000. Obviously, that's a long way. I'm trying to get to 5k at the end of the season. Fingers crossed that happens. But I love you and leave you there, guys. I'm heading to Watford at the weekend, providing there's no hiccups with the game being called off, or the trains being called off for whatever reason. Anyway, my arm is actually shaking. So I love you and leave you there, guys. Take care. I'll see you at the weekend. How are the lads, and stay safe.